what we're doing is looking at creating a page that holds several other pages. This page called lakes.php, but the problem here, that menu, we want to avoid that. That's why we changed all the place names in the last assignment. We want it to look nice and neat with all words here that are separated by spaces and capitalized and so on. Now, what we have here in terms of HTML is what's called an iframe or an inline frame. And each frame will actually contain a separate web page. That's what that does. So we have here a lakes.php page that contains on the left a lakemenu.php and on the right a lakedetails.php. And so we're going to have all three of those in our 160 folder. Now on the lakes page, it's a very simple HTML page that contains iframes, two of them. The first one will be the one on the left that has a width of 25% and a height of 500. The one on the right will have a width of 70%, so together that's 95%, just under the 100%. Both will have a height of 500. Now these frames have a name, so on the left we're going to call it menu frame, and on the right we're going to call it main frame. That will be very important down the road. In the left one, it's going to be the source lakemenu.php, and on the right it's going to be lakedetails.php. But you notice there's a question mark ID equals 1, because every lake details page, it's going to need a number there, the ID number of the record that we're looking at. So let's first take a look at the lakemenu.php. It's going to have the typical things on the main line, the connect statement. At the end it'll have a home page link, and because it's got the extra functions in here, and then we're going to see display menu is going to be the one function that we need here. So display menu only sends $con to it, and the SQL is select ID comma place name from lakes, order by ID. Obviously I don't need to order by ID, but it's logical to do that. I'm going to prepare the SQL statement and execute it, store the result, bind the result to $ID is for ID and $place name for place name. And inside the loop there'll be a fetch. It'll take each record and it'll put it inside of a hyperlink. A hyperlink has the A for anchor, href equals lakedetails.php question mark ID equals, and then whatever your ID is. And this is where that mainframe comes in, or mainframe comes in. Target equals mainframe. So we're going to send it to the mainframe, and the hyperlink is the place name. That's the words like Canada Lake or Peck Lake and so on. Now, let's take a look at the lake details. It's going to have this similar thing. It's going to connect to the database, but here it's got the exclamation point is not, is set, get ID. So in other words, if you do not send the ID variable as part of the URL, that's what the get means, you're going to get an echo statement that says you need to include the ID as part of the URL, and it's going to exit or stop the program. If you did send an ID, it continues, in which case you get the display lake $con and the get variable ID will be sent. So I've renamed it just plain $ID locally here, and the SQL statement says select place name comma info from lakes where ID equals question mark. So that question mark is the placeholder, and we'll prepare that SQL statement, and then we'll bind the ID to that placeholder. And notice ID is an integer. That means they can't send extra SQL as part of the URL. It'll only take an integer in this place. It'll execute, store the result, bind the result to place and info in the same order that I typed them here, and I'll fetch that data, and then I have an image name equals /media/images/lake photo/ whatever the place name is, .jpg. Wait a minute, isn't Canada Space Lake, isn't that what I have for place name? That's not the name of the file, we're going to have a problem here. Image source equals image name and alt equals place. And then we'll just echo the paragraph of info. Now because I have all these names already separated out here, that's going to cause a problem. See, Canada Lake doesn't show up as an image because that's not the way it's spelled. It's spelled like this, Canada Lake, all slurred together with one word, .jpg. So what am I going to do about that after I made all those changes? The answer is this. I am going to change place to be, well, let's look at this. str_replace replaces a space with nothing in that place. That's one function, but outside that function is the string to lower. So it's going to remove all the spaces and make everything lowercase for that place right here. And that way, the menu can still have the nice worded stuff and the image will still show. One more thing we have to change though is the home page function, which is in your functions.php. We're going to add target equals top to that. Why? Because otherwise, when you click on home page, it'll go within the frame that you're in. We want to go to the top frame in order to go to home page.